The world is not black and white, even though there are forces out there that try to convince us that everything is simple and subject to a quick fix. Therefore, I welcome GLOBSEC's findings saying that there is no single image of Russia in Central Eastern Europe and in the Western Balkans. The way we look at Russia arises from such a wide array of factors, including our historical experiences, which differ vastly across the region. And analogically, the report's findings, quite rightfully in my opinion, show that there is no universal profile of a pro-Kremlin backer. If there were, people like me would have an easier job responding to pro-Kremlin disinformation, but sadly, it's not as simple as that. The disinformation machine actively exploits differences in our perceptions and opinions to reach different audiences. In some countries, it targets people with views more to the left. In others, it pushes extreme right narratives. It knows where to hit to create confusion. And interestingly, as GLOBSEC's findings show, favorable attitudes towards Russia in the region and the high level of acceptance of pro-Kremlin narratives do not necessarily translate into geopolitical support for Moscow. It rightly concludes that influence ops only seldom result in tangible changes in public support for the EU and NATO. However, let's bear in mind that influence operations have many goals, and a change in attitudes is just one of them. What is much more difficult to grasp and tackle is the Kremlin's attempts to create chaos, confusion, and to exploit the divisions in our societies. One area vulnerable to such efforts is also visible in the report's findings. The narrative asserting that NATO is deliberately provoking Russia is shared by 45% of the respondents. But at the same time, 40% of them claimed that the exact opposite, that Russia, in fact, is the one provoking NATO. So I think this dichotomy shows that, unfortunately, there is room for the Kremlin's influence activities in the region.